We're here with Jeff Jones at ARG Detroit, and this is the 1K event. He went, I guess, 5-0-1.
5-0-1.
5-0 and then drew the last round with the other undefeated. So here's what he was playing.
So I played Burning Abyss. Well, I also call it PK Fire now. So it's the Burning Abyss Phantom Knight deck. So I played the best card in the deck by far is Speedride Terratop. It's a tour guide that doesn't use a normal summon. Whenever you open up with this card going first, I feel almost like I'm always going to win. It puts you in such a good position. And two Terratops, Takatomborg. And the version I used before, I played Triad Dice, but that's kind of like I was really inexperienced with the deck, and I was only played it for like 3 weeks. And I realized that drawing, I thought that drawing this card was really bad at first, but I realized that usually you can make plays with Levier to get around it. So a lot of times when I drew this, I just forced myself into a Levier play, and then use this as a second rank 3 afterwards, because Levier was the win. And I use a tour guide, and I use, for the Burning Abyss monsters, 3 Skarm, 2 Farpa, 2 Seer, 1 Graph, and 1 Calcab. A lot of people playing Barbar. Sometimes I wish I did have it for the burn damage that could kind of finish your opponent off. But I really liked Calcab because all the decks right now are playing so many of the counter traps, and it spins them away during the end phase with Beatrice. So like end phase in their turn, you send Calcab from deck to Beatrice and bounce them back any face downs, and then you can just kill them. And even if you have it during your turn, if you were to mill or something like that, and you mill this, you just force one of their back rows away, so you can continue playing without worrying about either strike or scolding or warning. And then I played 3 of all of the Phantom Knight monsters. The worst one is Ancient Cloak. I really wish I wouldn't draw this card sometimes. It's the worst one because it makes sure it's the only one that doesn't give you to a trap card. So this will get you to the trap card and this will be a trap card, but drawing this doesn't. But then when I did try to, a lot of my hands I would open up with just this as a Phantom Knight monster, and it was just, my hands were playable, so I just kept 3 anyway. For the spell cards, I had 3 Twin Twister, Reinforcement of the Army, Foolish Burial, Regeki, and what I used this weekend, and my friends who used the same deck, was 3 Mass Change 2. This card going first is super good against every single deck, even Cosmos. This card even helps you win against Cosmos after things have established, because lets you banish all their ships.
So were you just making the Dark Law turn 1, or were you waiting until their turn started?
Most of the time you'll have to make the Dark Law turn 1, because usually you'll have to use either the card you discard immediately, or the monster you use as fodder immediately to search for a key piece to continue with your turn. Most of the time it would end up being like this card, where you don't want to end your turn with a Dark Law and no trap, so you'd have to send this to grave and search your deck for a trap afterwards. But it doesn't matter, like even if they don't see the Dark Law coming, if they can't play, they can't play. Because the Performer Pal deck now relies a lot on resolving Wavering Eyes, and the Wavering Eyes resolving just banishes all their Pendulum cards, and if they add a card from the deck to the hand, Dark Law can banish it. Against Monarchs, it just complete blowout most of the time. Even after the game started, if they try to Aether you on your turn, when they activate Aether, you can just chain Mass Change 2, and you get to bring out Dark Law. And then when it resolves, it comes to the field, and Aether requires you to send both of the spells to graveyard, and if they don't go to the graveyard, they will get banished from Aether's effect. The monster from Aether doesn't come out, so it just makes their entire play inert. So this was definitely, it really sucks I didn't draw this card as much as I did, but I won almost every game I drew it. And for the traps, I only played 3 Fogblade, 3 Solemn Strike, and Solemn Warning. For the extra deck, I had 2 Dante. I never really needed 3. I usually just keep recycling the same ones over and over again. 2 Beatrice. The reason why I think actually that this deck is the best deck in the format right now. Beatrice completely screws over everything. It lets you play during your opponent's turn, backed by a trap. So if you have like a Fogblade and a Beatrice, Beatrice lets you far for your opponent on their turn. Whenever the Pendulum deck, if they Pendulum summon or they leave a Luster up, You don't let them synchro with it. You just fire flood the luster, and usually they have to pass their turn if they can't make Ignister. So then if they try to like make Castell afterwards, usually just Fog Blade it. They have to pass their turn. They get their luster back to the field, and then you just continue playing on your turn. Just disrupt everything. It's crazy just how amazing this card is. And if they ever kill it, you just get Dante Pilgrim, and this card's amazing too. Every time I crash Beatrice into numerous monsters to get this out, and would discard Farfar from my hand to draw a card and banish something from their field, or even just crash into Forerunner and discard a card from my opponent's hand. I'll head Dark Law up and banish their Forerunner. Then 2 Levier, possibly like this is like my favorite card. It extends all your plays, lets you like OTK your opponent so easily. Going into like it's like Dante Levier, Break Sword into like 1 or F0. Just most amazing. 3 Break Sword. In testing, I was making 3 a lot. This weekend, I never made 3, but I probably would still use it just because I don't want to. There's just times where I would need. In testing, when I didn't have the 3rd one, it was like game breaking, and I don't ever really want to put in that position again. Then 1 Nightmare Shark, 1 Utopic Future. I really wish I could use 2 of this card. There's many times where I wanted to use 2 of that card. I could make 2 in 1 turn and against Cosmos a lot, and just take like double Dark Destroyer, and something else and kill them. 1 Rebellion Dragon, and 2 Dark Laws, and 1 Pilgrim.
And you never missed any other level 4 rank, or rank 4?
No, the only one I ever would want to play right now is the Master Key Beetle, but again, in testing, it was the one I made the least, and I didn't need to make it all weekend, in the main event or side event, so it was fine. In my side, I had 2 Drone Lockbird, which I didn't use yesterday, but then I lost to the Monarch FTK deck, and I really didn't want to, and there were people playing it in the side event also, so I decided to use Drone Lockbird. 2 Ghost Ogre. When going second against before Pella would side this card in, a lot of their first turn 1 plays, again, are like scale, Wavering Eyes, and so that's like 3 cards to search for Monkey Board, and then when they play the Monkey Board, if you Ghost over it, it's literally almost always game. They're playing with a 2-card hand, and they can almost never do anything unless the last 2 cards in their hand are scales. Ghost Ogre, I really wish I could have played 3, but I needed room for other things. 3 Flying Sea. After yesterday, the mirror match in Burning Abyss was really popular, and it's really tough because there's so much grinding in the mirror, and it takes forever. So I wanted 3 of this in case I played against the mirror, which I didn't. I played against 4 Cosmos and 2 Performer Pals. So I use this just to shut my opponents down and hopefully to be able to kill them. 1 Dark Hole when I go second against Performer Pals. 2 System Downs against Cosmo, which was 3, but that's when I had to cut 1 to use Drone Lockbird. 2 Magic Deflectors against Monarchs, and 3 Massacre Sharks.
Cool. Well, congrats on the first place, and thanks.